Welcome back, YouTube. My name is Howie with PokemonKing.com, and we have the second video in our OU battle series right now. This is the second time we're using the team. We went 1-0 so far. We won our first battle. Keep in mind we do 3 battles with every team that we use, and if we win all 3 of them, we'll bump it up to the next tier and try a battle in the higher tier. So if we win our next 2 OU battles, we will try an Uber battle. Aside from that, we are on Twitter now, so go ahead and follow us on Twitter. My name is Pokemon King Howie. Pokemon has no vowels in it, so it's PKMN King Howie, no spaces. So go ahead and follow us there. Every time I look for battles, I'm going to look for them there in the future. So if you'll go ahead and follow me there, you might be able to get in on some of these battles. As usual, 1st and 15th of every month, we give away a free copy to our subscribers. One random subscriber, we couldn't give it away to all of you, obviously. One random subscriber, the 1st and 15th of every month, will get a free copy of Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, fully loaded. Comes with tons of battle-ready Pokemon. It really cuts the time down. Breeding and IV, EV training, all that. Really abridges that for you. So we're going to go ahead and start here. Without further ado, we're battling a gentleman by the name of Namvo. And let's look at what he's bringing. It looks like a Scizor, Gardevoir, Gengar, Venusaur, Rotom H, and Slowking. Just a recap of our team, if I can switch this to display both the upper and lower screens. We are bringing the team that we made in the team builder video. You can find that in the description below. We have Carbonated, the Azumarill, Phoebe, the Excadrill, Hit Me, the Ferrothorn, Van Buren, the Landorus T, Raze, the Heatran, and Beer, the Mega Slowbro. Common weaknesses on my opponent's team that I see. Dark, definitely for sure. 3 of his Pokemon are weak to Dark right off the bat, and he does not have a resist, so that's pretty big. Knockoff means we'll be doing a lot of knockoffs, I think, with Carbonated. Aside from that, Fire, a couple weaknesses, but he does have a couple resists as well. Zone, Dark, Ghost. Okay, so he's got 3 Pokemon weak to Ghost, so Ghost and Dark. Actually 4 weak to Ghost, maybe. No, 3, because Rotom H loses its Ghost typing. Anyway, let's go ahead and enter. We're going to start off with Phoebe this time, I think. If I can really quick get a picture of my opponent's team. Really quick. Always, as a reminder, take a picture of your opponent's team if you're competitive battling. It really helps to have that as a reference during the battle. So, who is my opponent going to open up with is the question. Looking like the Rotom H maybe? In a Volt Turn type situation? I think it's going to be a Choice Pokemon, whatever it is. The Scizor does come out, so I'm guessing probably Choice, Scarf, or Band. And we have our Excadrill. So. Scizor can do a lot of things here. He could U-turn if he just wants to go into something different. He could probably go for the superpower. We do resist both of his stabs, and typically Scizors don't carry a superpower anymore. So possibly we're looking at a knockoff. Anyway, I'm going to get my Stealth Rocks up one way or the other, just because I think that's going to be good to have for the course of this battle, because he does not have a Spinner or a Defogger on his team. And once they're up, they're up. So if we can get them up early, they're going to stay there for the duration of the battle. Does the hard switch out, bit of a surprise, go straight into the Gengar. Straight into Gengar. Not thinking it's Mega Gengar because that is an Uber Pokemon, so Mega Evolution probably not coming through. Focus Blast is the usual suspect in this situation. I don't know if I want to switch, because I don't know if I need my Excadrill for much, and I don't want Gengar the opportunity to set up. So I'm just going to go straight off for the Iron Head as I switch the display back to just the upper screen. Goes for the Confuse Ray. Okay, I see what you're doing. So we got 50-50 shot to hit out of Confusion, obviously. Always a little bit of an irritating, maybe a little bit of a gimmicky move, but you know, what are you going to do? It's fine. It's not banned from competitive play, and he has every right in the world to use it. Plus, I'd rather see Confuse Ray in that situation than Focus Blast, honestly. Alright, so should we switch out is the question. Possibly we could go out into Heatran. That'd be an option. That'd be an option, and the flash cannon or flamethrower would very likely KO. But the iron head from the Excadrill will also do a lot of damage. I am going to continue. I'm going to stay in to scout what he does and see if he has more gimmicky moves. Okay, so he's going to withdraw. Just wanted to get the Confuse Ray off, going out into Slowking. Obviously, we're going to have to switch at this point with the Slowking out because we just don't really have anything for it. Hit ourselves in Confusion again. That's fine. The Iron Head, even if it connected, would have only done a little tiny bit of damage. By the way, I'm sorry if I sound a little quiet or under the weather today. I went out last night downtown Ybor, if any of you live in the Tampa area, and went pretty hard with one of my buddies. And I am hungover today to a certain degree. But that's fine. I always like the competitive battle, even if I am tired and hungover. We're going to switch out into Hit Me, the Ferrothorn at this point, because I think the Leech Seed is going to be the right move, regardless what he decides to do. And we resist both of his stabs. Scald comes through. Will it burn? It will not burn. They say burn. They say it's only a 30% chance to burn on Scald, but it seems more like 50-50 most of the time. I think we're just going to go for the Thunder Wave here because he has no Electric-type Pokemon, and getting some paralysis early in the battle is always a good way to go. Guessing has the Fire Blast. My mistake. Okay, well remember this is critical moment number 1 of the battle. I was not anticipating. I should have just protected there is what I should have done. If I wasn't hungover, I might have. So we take the Fire Blast and lose our Ferrothorn, and he is one of our defensive Pokemon, so that's not something that you want to have happen early in the battle. But good by my opponent. I'm thinking we're going to go play rough here. Did go into Carbonid the Azumarill. If my phone can stay on and I can keep an eye on what he has. I'm thinking the play rough is going to come through. Guessing the Venusaur is going to come in. Still not really in the mood to overpredict though. You know what I'm going to knock off? I'm going to knock off and try to get rid of an item. Because if the Venusaur does come in, and we will at least reveal if he's Mega or not. Because he has Gardevoir and Venusaur. And so if we use knockoff and the Venusaur comes in, we'll figure out if the Venusaur is Mega, and if he is not, we will know that the Gardevoir is Mega. Okay, so he stays in to take the knockoff, and that's going to kill the Slowking for sure. Because knockoff when you're holding an item, that's a huge amount of damage it's going to do. See that the Slowking was packing the Assault Vest, so it's a good thing we decided to hit him on the physical side, because that would have been a very bulky situation. Brings in the Gengar. And I'm not making a lot of plays, but our team is like pretty solid, so I don't know if I have to. And also I don't know if I have to fear anything from the Gengar. Because the Shadow Ball isn't going to be a big deal, neither is the Focus Blast. Could be the Sludge Wave though. Could be the Sludge Wave. I'm going to make the safe switch into Raise the Heatran, because typically Gengars don't really pack anything that's great for them. He did not Focus Blast on my Excadrill earlier in the battle too, so I'm doubting that he has it. Does go for the Sludge Wave, and it's a good thing that we switched, because that probably would have KO'd our Azumarill, and we obviously are immune to it with the Heatran. So now, I feel like the Flamethrower or the Flash Cannon is the right move. We're going to go for looking at his team. Looking at his team is going to determine what we go into, or if we're going to use Flash Cannon or a Flamethrower. Because he's probably going to switch. The Slowking is down, so he does have 2 weaknesses to fire and only 1 resist. So the Flash Cannon though would not hit. Okay, so he has 2 things that resist the Flash Cannon, so I'm going to go for the Flamethrower. I think he might stay in or go into the Rotom H. Goes into Gardevoir, who should be able to take this reasonably well, if I had a guess. Something smells like barbecue. I think my neighbor is grilling out there. My neighbor does a lot of grilling, and it kind of, it's irritating because it always smells so good, and I got such a tiny kitchen, I don't got a barbecue, and I can't make food like that. So I'm stuck in here eating whatever's laying around, or I have to go get fast food, which is usually what happens. Gardevoir comes through. Focus Blast is obvious. So we're going to switch. We're going to switch into Van Buren, I think, because he's not going to go for a Psychic type move. And he's not going for an Ice type move. So we got a good switch. And Van Buren is our Choice Scarf. So we will be able to U-turn out away to maintain momentum and possibly also take out the Gardevoir. Whatever he does here isn't probably going to do too much damage. He's going to Mega Evolve. And that is a shiny Mega Gardevoir. It's pretty cool looking. Doesn't go for the Focus Blast like we thought, and we are going to resist. So it doesn't do very much damage at all. Now Gardevoir, the Mega, is it weak to Bug? I'm going to go to Bulbapedia and figure it out. What does Bulbapedia say? I'm still not entirely used to the new fairy typing, so I always have to double check weaknesses and resistances if I'm not entirely sure. I should know it by now, and I have a good feel. I think it still is weak to Bug, in which case I would go for the U-turn. But if it's not, then we can't do that. We'll have to go for a different move. Gardevoir. Okay, so it's Psychic and Fairy. And is Fairy weak to, resistant to, or neutral with Bug? Okay, it takes half damage from Bug, so we have to go for the Earthquake as our best move right now. He withdraws, possibly going into Rotom H. Goes into Gengar. Okay, so that was a good move. So he switches into Gengar. If I had more time, if I didn't spend so much time looking at Bulbapedia, I would have anticipated that, because he has the Rotom H and the Gengar, which both have Levitate, and neither would have appreciated a Stone Edge, so that probably was the correct move. So now we are going to go back into Raise, I believe, because I don't think he has a super effective move on us. So unless he pulls a double switch, we're going to get off a free Flamethrower, is what I'm thinking. And that will KO his Gardevoir at this point. So let's go for the Dark Pulse, which is not resisted. And that almost is a 2-hit KO, but not quite. We're going to go for the Flash Cannon. Goes for another Dark Pulse straight away because he does not want to switch into anything. He does not want to switch in, so he's going to stay in and sack the Gengar, but we do not quite take it out. So what do we do now? The Dark Pulse is coming through again, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is go into Carbonated and threaten with the Aqua Jet. We're going to switch into Carbonated, hoping the Dark Pulse comes through again, which we would resist. And we are Assault Vested, too, is the other thing. So we don't take a lot of damage from special attacks regardless. That's not going to do hardly anything. We got a fat little... Yeah, that doesn't do much at all. Got a fat little Azumarill. So now we're free just to go for the safe Aqua Jet. Because if he switches, yeah, he's going to stay in. Because with the Stealth Rocks up, he can't bring the Gengar back in again. He would be dead on arrival. DOA Gengar. Okay, so we do take out the Gengar. And at this point, we're in decent shape. We're in decent shape because he is down 2 Pokemon, and I am down 1. And we got rid of 2 of his biggest special attacking threats. Really, his team is full of nothing but threats. There's nothing that's really super defensive on his team. Everything that he has is capable of dishing out damage. Okay, so the Scissor comes out. The Scissor comes out. We are neutral against... We are neutral against his Steel-type attacks. Resist the Bug. U-turn. Knockoff is also resisted. Superpower is resisted. I feel like this is our best matchup right now. He did switch out of Phoebe, though. When I brought in Phoebe the first time, he did switch out. So maybe he does not like seeing that. We're going to go back into Phoebe. Is what we're going to do. Now we're going to go into Van Buren and get an Intimidate off is what we're going to do. And we're going to try to steal back momentum without having to worry about switches with a U-turn. Because we're going to get the Intimidate off, which is going to cut his attack. He does not have a super effective attack. We are going to resist the Bullet Punch. Okay, that did a lot more than I thought it would. That was a bad play. Critical moment number 2 here, possibly. Maybe a little bit less critical. But switching into that Bullet Punch was a bad play. And I thought I was going to take it a lot better than I actually did. And so we have to now switch out again into Phoebe because this is my Choice Scarf user and I just can't lose it. It's my out card for a lot of what his team has. So I have to hold on to him. And I also save an extra Intimidate for later in the battle. Another Bullet Punch does come through, and this time it does not do very much at all. Now, I think I'm going to pull a double switch because he's not staying in. I just have to anticipate what he is going to bring in himself. It's going to be something that is immune to the Earthquake. So I'm guessing it's going to be the Rotom H. And knowing that, I can go back into Van Buren. I can go back into Van Buren. Or Landorus T, I think. I think I can. Because we are choiced, we will outspeed the Rotom H one way or the other. So I'm going to pull a big move here. This is a big play. I got to make a play. And we're going to go into Van Buren, the Landorus T. Hopefully he did not stay in. Otherwise, we do still get the double Intimidate off, and we might survive one more Bullet Punch if he goes that direction. Okay, so he does withdraw. He does withdraw. We do also see that we are faster. And he does go into the Rotom like we predicted. So that was also a big play on our part. We're going to actually make this critical moment number 2. If we win the battle, at least. Otherwise, if we lose, it wasn't very critical at all now, was it? So we're going to go for the Stone Edge because we can do that kind of without impunity. The Mega Venusaur could come in, truthfully. But if he does, I'm not going to be super concerned about it. I will be concerned about it, but I'm not going to be super concerned about it. The Stone Edge misses. So there's your critical moment. He does... Okay, so he goes for Volt Switch, which we do... We are immune to. Okay, so let's break down what we know right now. We know that Excadrill, since it switched out before the Scizor, is faster than the Scizor. So we know the Scizor is not Choice Scarf. It's probably Choice Banded, is what we think, based on how much the Bullet Punch did to Van Buren. 2, we know that Rotom is probably the Choice Scarf. If I were to make an assumption, I think the Rotom H is Choice Scarf, which is why he has the Volt Switch, and which is why I used it right off the bat. But now we know he's probably going to switch into the Venusaur. And if he does do that, we should react accordingly. Alright, I'm just going to Stone Edge. I'm going to Stone Edge because the only good play for my opponent is to go into the Venusaur. And let's see if it comes through. Goes into the Scizor, which I'm okay with because this will still do good damage to the Scizor. This will do good damage to the Scizor. And we know he has to Bullet Punch is the other thing that we know. So knowing that he has to Bullet Punch because we outspeed, we're going to go back into Phoebe. We're going to go back into Phoebe the Excadrill. This microphone is not very stable. I hope this sounds good because I dropped a decent amount of money on this mic, and I like it. I hope you guys like it too. Alright, so that does goodish damage. The question is, does he stay in now and sack the Scizor? Because if he does, we already showed the double switch. We already showed the double switch. So I don't know if he's going to respect the double switch again. He might stay in anticipating that we're going to go back into the Landorus T. I'm just going to go for the safe Earthquake here. This is what I'm going to do. He does withdraw. Will he bring out the Rotom H? He does. So we could have pulled the double switch again. I was thinking he might predict that and stay in. So he does not have Levitate. Rotom H does not have Levitate? Rotom H doesn't have Levitate. Rotom H does not have Levitate. Really? Or do we have... Oh, we have Mold Breaker. I totally forgot. When we built this set, the Rotom H... not the Rotom H. Our Excadrill has Mold Breaker, so that's why. Rotom H does have the Levitate. So our misplay actually kind of paid off in the end, if I'm being honest. Because the way that we played it originally, it kind of indicated that we did not have Mold Breaker because we were afraid of using the Earthquake on Rotom H. So that encouraged him the second time to switch into Rotom H. Even though we didn't want him to. I guess we had him so fooled, we fooled ourselves is what I'm saying. Alright, so we got a Mega Venusaur on the loose. Mega Venusaur on the loose. Thinking a growth is coming through. And I'm just going to go for the Iron Head to do what I can to see what he's going to do. No, you know what? I got to sack something. And I think it might have to be Van Buren. No. Well, the thing is, I can't let him set up. Looking at what his team has left, I'm thinking Mega Slowbro has got to go. Because I don't think, unfortunately, even though he's my favorite guy on the team, and he really is, if I can find my camera to see what he has left, I don't think he's very useful. Because he can't go up against the Mega, he can't go up against the, no, actually he showed the Mega Gardevoir, so this is a standard Venusaur. This is a standard Venusaur, it's not Mega. So we're just going to stay in an Iron Head, because Phoebe has used up its useful life. Nah, you know what? We are going to go out into beer. No, we're not. God, this is tough. Carbonated, maybe? We got to sack something. I don't want to give up my choice Scarf user, though. Alright, we're just going to go for an Earthquake to do some damage. That's all we're going to do. And it actually does a decent chunk, so he's going to go back for the Giga Drain. And at this point, I don't think we can take another Bullet Punch anyway from Scizor. So I think that we are just going to stay in and do some more damage to the Venusaur. We are up in the battle 5-3 as well, so I'm not going to over-predict at this point. We're just going to Earthquake our way through until we die. That's good water. Goes for the something. Hidden Power? Was that Hidden Power? I think it was. Probably Hidden Power Fire. But, since we outspeed, will we KO with another Earthquake? I think we might. We'll get really close at the very least. So let's go ahead and Earthquake one more time. I guess our matchup was better than we thought against the Venusaur. This is... Okay, so he has the Synthesis. He has a Synthesis, so we were unable to take him out, which is fine. We are still just sacking the Excadrill. So odds are he's going to... Will he Synthesis again, is the question. Let's just go for an Iron Head and see if we can buy a Flinch. And if we do that, then we can buy another turn of Leftovers Recovery. And possibly actually save Phoebe for the Scizor. Okay, so he's actually not going to Synthesis again. He's just going to go for the safe Hidden Power. And we live with 5 hit points. We live with 5. So, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't think it means much, because we can still not take him out from this range. So I think what we're going to do is still stay in again and just go for the Iron Head, even though he's going to Synthesis. Do not get the Flinch, and he does just go for the Giga Drain at this point to get a little bit of health back. Synthesis was probably the right play, but you know, I'm kind of glad he did that, because in the end, the only thing he could have burned like 4 or 5 turns to make sure he was at least half health. But by the time I died, that would have just been boring for you guys, and it wouldn't have changed the course of the battle very much at all either. We're gonna go into Raise now, because we can fire off flamethrowers now, like no problem. Because I don't think he has anything that's going to want to take one anymore. If I'm looking at his team again. The Rotom's down. So yeah, he's got nothing that can take a flamethrower at all. So he has no choice but to stay in and take one. He's got to take the flamethrower. So we are going to take care of the Venusaur. So that means we are down to just a Scizor and a Mega Gardevoir. Venusaur goes... It's a crit. We get a crit. I'm glad that the crit came at a non-critical point in the battle. Crit shouldn't happen at critical points. Crit should just happen when you don't need them. I think the game's played better that way. I understand crits are part of the game. I understand that crits are part of the game, but sometimes it's just not what you need. At this point, I'm going to stay in because I don't really need my Heatran for anything else. We're just going to go for the Flash Cannon. Maybe we outspeed. We do not, so the Psyshock will take us out. Almost for sure. Even though we resist... we were just simply too low on health at that point. So now we're going to go into Carbonated, because an Aqua Jet should take him out from this, from how low his hit points are right now. Going to go for the safe Aqua Jet, and it looks like we're going to be in good position to win this game. So the Gardevoir does go down, so he is going to have to be bring out the Scizor, which is going to get locked into some move. So he's going to have to choose a move to get stuck in. I'm just going to go for the safe Aqua Jet once again and force him to go for the Bullet Punch if he wants to outspeed me. If he wants to outspeed me, he has to go for the Bullet Punch, which he does. We are fat, though. We should take at least one of those, even with the assumed Choice Band. And the Aqua Jet will take the Scizor out. So that's going to be the battle. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Namvow. I had a great time. That was a great battle. I really appreciate the effort. We do go to 2-0. So that means if we win one more battle, just one more, we are going to take this team to the next tier. We're going to go to Ubers for one battle. So that's very exciting, too. Follow me on Twitter once again, please. That's where I'm going to look for all my battles in the future. So make sure you get on there and follow me. Watch for my tweets if you want to be in one of these videos. And aside from that, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want a chance at a free copy of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire fully loaded. You can check that out at PokemonKing.com. We give one free away the 1st and 15th of every month to our subscribers. Until next time, take care. Have a good day.